What's up traders? In this video, I'm going to share the IB75 strategy. Now, of course, the IB25 strategy has been super simple, super effective, and has made me over $30,000 in payouts this year. The IB75 also is super simple, super effective, and has allowed me to take advantage of opportunities when the IB25 hasn't quite presented. So I'm going to spend in this video time going over examples of the IB75, as well as reasons why I would actually not take an IB75 trade. So let's get into it. Okay, so what does IB75 actually mean? Well, IB stands for initial balance, and this is basically the range of price from 9:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. New York time. So it's the range of price in the first hour of the New York session. Now, what does the 75 mean? Well, you need to ask yourself the important question: what's formed first, the IB high or the IB low? In this example, the IB high is formed first and the IB low is formed second. So the red line is the 25% retracement level inside the initial balance. The purple line is the 50% retracement level inside the initial balance. And so the green line over here is the 75% retracement level inside the initial balance. And the IB 100 all the way here is the 100% retracement level inside the initial balance. So the IB75 strategy is where you enter at, yes, you guessed it, the IB75. But why would I enter there? Well, let's have a look at this example. We bounce off the daily VWAP and we break through the New York VWAP with strength. I like the strength moving higher here. Then price retraces to the IB75. But before it does that, price closes here at 10:30 a.m. when the IB sets. And when the IB sets, we've closed between the IB75 and the IB100 zone. That's important because the probabilities of us hitting the IB high are actually much higher now. If we go to Edgewell and we look at the data for when the IB high forms first, well, there's a 57% chance versus a 36% chance that we break the IB low. So you could easily look at this example just here and go, well, hold on, we should got more likely, we've got a bigger chance that we're going to break the IB low. However, because we've actually closed between the IB75 and IB100, it changes things. We go to the initial balance breakout, buy rejection report, and we customize it according to the ending zone, the zone the price closes in at 10:30 a.m. And we change this to the IB75 to IB100. Watch how the data flips. And there you go. When the IB high forms first, we now have a 66% chance that we're going to break the IB high first. So now it is more likely, because we close at 10:30 in this zone, we're more likely that we're going to break the IB high now. So knowing that, I place a limit order at the IB75. Yes, it comes down a little bit, but then the Edgewell data does play out and we take our target at the IB high, the IB100. And that's a perfect example of not trading opinions, trading data. Not trading emotions, trading data. Okay? Now, let's have a look at this example here. Now, this example, I potentially had an IB25 trade here. And this is the day when the IB75 trade could play its role in the day, because I wouldn't take this IB25 trade with the daily VWAP in the way. I don't like fighting VWAPs. I lose more than I win when I fight VWAPs. And so on days like this potentially creates opportunities where you could take IB75 trades. So that's where the IB75 trade and the IB25 trade kind of come together as one sort of strategy for me, okay, where they both complement each other. Where the IB25 doesn't present, the IB75 may be able to offer an opportunity, okay? Now, let's look at this example here, because this example here is an example of when I would not take an IB75 trade. Why would I not take an IB75 trade here? Well, looking at this here, yes, we've had the strong move higher, tick. Yes, we could have an entry at the IB75, tick. We've closed at 10.25 just here, so we've closed here when the IB sets. So we've closed between the IB75 and the IB100 ending zone. So the Edgewell data supports that we're going to break the IB high. However, I don't like fighting VWAP. I just don't like doing it. I lose more than I win. And if I decided to enter the IB75 trade here and try to fight the daily VWAP, I would have lost. okay? And I would have been so frustrated with myself. And that's where trading is very important, to know your rules, have a simple, repeatable strategy that has clear rules, so that when the rules don't align, it's very simple for you to stay out of the trade, okay? And that's exactly what I did here, staying out of it and avoiding here a very, very simple loss. But trading is not all that simple. There are going to be times like this where, yes, we've had the strong move higher through the New York VWAP. Yes, we have closed at, where have we closed? Right here, which is at 10:30 a.m. when the IB sets. So we've once again closed between the IB 75 and IB 100 ending zone. But I wouldn't have entered here with the daily VWAP being in the way. I don't like fighting the VWAP. If I fought on this day, I would have actually have won. But that's where you need to look at your own data and you need to work out for yourself, is it more profitable for me to fight the VWAP over a long period of time or not fight the VWAP? And I know my own data, and that's why I'm happy to miss trades like this, because quite simply, it's not my trade. It's not my trade at all, okay? Now, if we look here, okay, at this one just here, okay, one final example for you, okay? And this is a trade that I actually took today, live on Edgeable TV at the time of recording this YouTube video. And let's have a look at why I like this IB75 trade. So we had here a strong move through the VWAPs, okay? Nice bounce off the daily VWAP and we move higher. I enter here at the IB75, okay? Price actually closed just here. So where is it closed? Yes, it's closed between the IB75 and IB100. So the Edgeable data, once again, is strong that we are going to break the IB high. I like those odds. I like that probability. Yes, we had to sit through a bit of drawdown here. Luckily, I put a bit of lower risk on this, which allowed me to sit through this drawdown, wait to see what it did at the VWAP. And then it did. The VWAPs did their job beautifully for me. And I managed to get out here at the IB high for a nice little win. Once again, following a simple, repeatable system according to my rules. And it just beautifully complements those days like today where I just would not have got an IB25 entry. Doesn't mean on every day where I don't get an IB25 entry, I'm going to take an IB75. So there are many, many days in my trading where I'm flat. There's just no entry for me when it comes to IB25 or IB75. And you've got to know what your A+ entries are. So I hope that video helps you to understand better how the IB75 strategy works, the simple rules that I use for the strategy, as well as why I would not take the IB75 trade, and how I have so much confidence in this entry because of the Edgeable data that backs the entry as well. So make sure you like, guys, make sure you subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of the IB75 strategy. Would you adapt it? Would you modify it? Would you change it a little bit? That's what trading is all about. You can change a simple system and adapt and modify to how you want to trade as well. And that's what trading should be all about. So until the next video, see you soon, guys.